Welcome back to Crash Command Games. Thanks for tuning in again. This is going to be kind of like a recap post-calling Portland. That was the 50th calling that Flesh and Blood has put on, and excitingly, they brought it to the Northwest, giving us our first fair shake at hosting an event. It was at the Hyatt Regency downtown Portland. Very nice hotel right next to the convention center. Can't say enough nice things about the event itself. We got some pretty cool swag. I don't know if you'll be able to see. See if I can get it to focus. But I got 4 new pieces for the wall. We have the Gone in a Flash playmat. This is the Eras playmat that's got like the 2019 through today's date of the heroes that dominated those metas. And then of course I have Acilio. The reason I picked Acilio was that's the last promo that I won, and that will catch me up to my little hero's journey, my honor roll, who I've decided to display a little bit better spaced behind me. Kind of hard to see them, but with the new lens, which I got, if you can tell the difference in the video, please let me know. That lens was not cheap. I have to edit that already because we're only 4 minutes in. That lens was not cheap. It just wasn't, but I feel like I can see a difference. I can physically see the difference. And again, this is just for me. But if it looks better and you notice, please let me know. What we're here to talk about is Portland. So I went to Portland, planned on it pretty far in advance, and I got as many reps in as I could with new Alluring Desire. That is who I took to the calling. That is not who I was going to take to the calling. I was going to take Max Nitro, who is there. That I was going to take Max Nitro, the hype.
Wah, wah.
We all know High Octane just got banned. Okay. It was not super exciting for me. That was the hero that I was practicing all ProQuest season. I even made it to the finals of the ProQuest that I didn't go to. That was Classic Constructed. I was way too exhausted for that game. I can't recap it almost at all. I just have to go with what people told me happened. That was like 36 hours into being awake at that point in time. Don't do that. Don't do what I don't know why I do that to myself, but I do. I wanted to get this video out so we could talk about something. And what that is attitude, right? Anybody who was with me will know that I was very low on my Classic Constructed games, but very high on my sealed games and my no draft, but just my limited games. And then Commoner was okay. That was the Battle Hardened that was at that event, so I did bring a Commoner deck to feel out the format that I have not really played before, and try it out. I was gonna go with a few picks, but I ended up going with like a last second. I just didn't have the other decks practiced enough, and I know Dash kind of, so I decided to go with that. This is just all over the place fragmented. It's just so exciting to talk about for me because I love going to callings. They're just a whirlwind of activity. Had one of my judges going through, I think their L2 exam there. A lot of my friends, a lot of my local meta showed up, like over half of it. We all kind of caravan down there, and a few people even joined last second after being approved for PTO, which is always good. Super exciting if you get the chance to go to any callings. I did get a lot of the promos. The wife and I joined every Lightning Press event we could. I even got the privilege to alpha draft. I did not get anything good, and to nobody's excitement, there was no Majestic or Cold Foil in that box. And like a few of us kind of were like, is someone hiding it? You couldn't hide that if you opened up like a Cold Foil boss card. And I think the best card was a Cranial Crush. Okay. All of this is to basically amalgamate the idea that callings are exciting. But I don't think I hope I didn't ruin the experience for anyone around me, but anytime we talked about the Classic Constructed games, I was really down. Because I had to pivot here really fast. I had been playing new for a bit, but not with serious testing. I have some notes, I have some data, but nowhere near the data and the testing I have on Max Nitro, okay? It was night and day between how bad I was. But what I want to get across here for the second act is, yes, I was complaining my deck wasn't very good, and maybe I wasn't very good. Kind of got down on myself after losing so many games with new, and all of them were really close. I can't even say they were bad losses. I went 1-3 in the calling. The last time I was in a calling, I was 5-1, and it was a way different experience. That was with Phi. I was 1-3 by the time that I decided to drop and join side events. Something that I need to right now just pin in. Just
nice.
If you're in a calling and you're doing poorly, try not to kick yourself around all day and force yourself through the calling. Callings are celebrations, man. Just get in there, get in all the side events you can, get all the ticks you can, get some cool prizes, enjoy yourself, and pick yourself back up. The best news came later in the day. After all the side events were done, we're getting ready to go get food. The best news came that a new was undefeated. A lot of people might take this incorrectly, and this is what I want to talk about as well. Some people may say, oh, well, they just got lucky. I did get to interview this new. I don't remember their last name. It's very clearly going to be on the Flesh and Blood Decklist website. They made finals. Spoiler to anybody who hasn't somehow seen that by now. They made finals. His name is Victor. Super energetic, super nice person. I brought the recording equipment. I brought that for the first 2 days I was there. I got some footage, which I'll be rolling across the screen now. I will start with the picture that I got with Victor, which was really messed up because I just kind of quickly took it. I didn't want to waste any of his time because by the time I tracked him down, and I'm not trying to make that creepy. I'm saying I saw him and I was like, hey, dude, can you come over here real quick and talk to me about your new play? Okay. He's like, yeah, real quick though, because I think they're about to announce quarterfinals. I did not set the camera correctly, so the picture you're about to see of us meeting is not a good picture. I didn't have the recorder on me, so I had to rely on the camera's audio, and the camera did pick up some audio, but it was just a mess in the hall. There was excitement going on. And I forgot to turn off HDR on the camera that I use. The camera that I use is not super high-end. Obviously, I believe it looks great. I believe this image and this scene we're in look great. But this is a controlled environment and it's feeding directly into my work PC. Okay, the business PC does most of this rendering and most of this work. The memory card for this camera is an older one. It's called UHS 1. All that means is it has a limit as to what it can do. HDR is not in that scope. So it looks like a goddamn slideshow. I tried to take a picture and a video of Victor winning his game against Enigma. Don't remember the opponent's name. No offense. I was just there to watch the Enigma to learn the ways and my errors. I'm so disappointed that I couldn't get that for you. I'm sorry. I'm really new to field recording. I had this camera, and it's a miracle that I still have this camera because one of my locals pointed out I just left it on a table at one point in time. But that just shows how good the fab community is. That was something that I was able to do, and there was not an issue. I am sorry that I do not have any cool interviews or anything that I should have gotten from the calling. It was super important to me that I try to because it was the 50th anniversary. It was the 50th calling. Okay. Celebratory event. It was the first calling in the Pacific Northwest, which is where I am from. And it was so exciting to be able to just drive to a calling and not have to fly, book all this. That said, many people did. And many people that I met were from all over, from the East Coast. I think I met somebody from Australia. The point about talking about Victor was I wanted the interview because what you should do if you were losing is realize you're losing for a reason. You know, your hero might be bad, you might be bad, or maybe you're playing your hero wrong. I don't think I'm inherently a bad player. I have flaws, weaknesses, and I'm unfamiliar with certain play styles. We all are. We all have those problems. I did not have the reps on New that I probably should have going into a calling. Okay. You have to also realize pivoting decks like I did from Max Nitro, all of that testing, all of that grinding, just to switch over to New for my personal reasons. The honor roll is what I'm going to call them. Is why I did that, is I wanted to stay true to my honor roll and finish a season and a road trip with a deck before moving on to Acilio. I've done that. But you can ask anyone in my local meta. I was very down on New. I was saying this isn't the deck. It just cannot compete in this meta. I'm not trying to take anything from Victor. He did flat out tell me during our talk he did not run into an Aurora. I got 2. I asked what the plan is into Aurora, and he said you have to absolutely shoot for hand disruption and get perfect blocking and get a little bit lucky. That's not super encouraging, but not at the same time. It's not a bad thing, because New didn't overall win the calling anyway. Even though New did make it to the finals, Enigma looks to have gotten those points. I know Enigma. I thought for a second, realistically, I thought I have not a friend, but an acquaintance I made over in the Northwestern Oregon area. I believe maybe from Washington. Jude, playing Zen, was in the quarterfinals, and I swore up and down I thought that was going to go to Zen. I think that was also against New. I think that was the quarters, wasn't it? Huh. I'll have to check in on that and add in maybe a detail or so later, maybe in the comments or something. Realistically, it was just such a sight to behold, because after learning that he didn't run into any Auroras, I said, okay, did you run into any Rune Blades? Because my primary complaint coming out of my games was, God damn it, I literally cannot keep up with Rune Blades. All of my games, I'm losing by like 18 points of health, but their deck is getting low. I couldn't see it. I couldn't understand it until I sat down with Victor and I heard the phrase, you just have to shoot for deck damage. How can someone, me personally, a lover of mill, okay, I used to specifically try to build mill decks in every game I've ever played because I think it's a cool mechanic, right? I heard the phrase deck damage and I swear I had that I have been playing New wrong this whole time. So, I have already changed my deck. Not drastically, mind you, but just a little bit with the New focus. And I just kind of want to go over that a little bit. This is not a full New breakdown. It's just kind of showing how I evolved and how you can too when confronted with a huge loss for an event you traveled and paid for. This may be your big event of the year. All of this, it happened to me. Hey, if you're liking this content at all, please subscribe, like, comment, do all that stuff. This new lens was not cheap, and none of this is cheap. I want to make the best quality videos I can for you. Soon, if I keep making sales on now just TCG Player, eBay fees almost make it not worth it. I'm sure if I were a bigger store, it would be worth it, but it is just not right now. So exclusively on TCG Player at the moment, or the Discord if you buy from me locally at the Discord, or if you are in the Patreon, which you should join. You can definitely buy cards over that. You just got to tell me what you're looking for, and if I have it, I have it. All my stock is on TCG Player. I'll cut you deals for being a patron. All right. Thanks so much for that. So let's go ahead and head over here and take a look at my girl. Okay. This is New, Alluring Desire. I'm sure you're all very familiar with her. When this chain link resolves, banish all action cards defending this. Does not help you with the deck damage perspective, but does load certain propositions, like against Aurora, they can't block, and then Electrostatic Discharge. Acilio cannot do that either. There are interesting implications with that. The second ability is either completely broken or completely useless. Peek at the top. If it's blue, you may banish it. Irrelevant to that, you may then play cards from your opponent's banish zone that are blue. Okay. So we're just going to take a quick peek. I also... we're going to look at a few tokens, and it's just think of this episode as how to enjoy a calling. Okay. I got an art print. How do I point at it? There. That is a Looming Doom art print from I'm quickly attaching myself to this artist's perspectives and styles. When I heard Marco Gonzalez was going to make an appearance at the calling, I of course got one of every foil, thinking, "Oh my God, he's gonna sign everything." I got there, started talking to the guy. I think his partner was there. Super nice, super great, very accommodating, and had very unique pieces there. And I decided to buy a few of them. That being one of them, right? And I obviously got signatures on everything that I wanted to. But by the time I got there, I only wanted a few signatures because I wanted to buy more of their products and get signatures on what they brought, as opposed to what they've already done for the game. Okay, so I just want to kind of show off these two pieces because these are so incredibly good looking. Move back over to this. Look at that. Just some sorcerer, some kind of thing sitting in a very decrepit tomb. Oh my God, I just hit the mic. I'm so sorry. But that looks so fantastic. And then the frailty. There it is. Jesus, I have to really figure this out. That is just so boss. He made these tokens. I got them signed. I bought them from him. I asked him, how did you come up with the idea to come with the Ponder and the Frailty token, I wonder? And he said, one of my judge friends told me that they would sell. So, I mean, realistically, you got to know artists are there to make money and demo their abilities. And these are two of the most fantastic versions of that. I want to thank him for those signatures right there. So when it comes to this, you really have to ask yourself at the base idea, like, what are your weapons there to do? Okay. So we have Beckoning Mistblade ×2 with a Scale Peeler. Go ahead and see if we can. There we go. So the Scale Peeler is there more for the aggressive matchups, to be honest with you. It's there to take away their option to block armor than have a full turn. This threatens that you're still trying to get across on hits that will strip away their hand. So this is more for the aggro matchups from what I've learned now. And the two Beckoning Mistblades are more for the fatigue matchups where they just cannot afford to give you that +1 anymore in the late game because it will give you too much of an advantage. That's just what these are for. I watched it happen. It's incredible. I kept blocking with Mask of Recurring Nightmares, which is a mistake. We're just going to do that, okay? Yeah, Mask of Recurring Nightmares, I kept blocking with, trying to save my life total. Incorrect play. I don't know if I remember seeing Victor ever get rid of the mask. It at the end game is just too good as when you have like 4 or 5 chi left in your deck and you're down to your last cycles. Just dagger mask, dagger mask, dagger mask. Your deck damage. Remember that phrase. Tunic, obviously, for the long matches. I did see him block with these. These were used on either Bonds of Agony, the Undertow, and the Arousing. Were used either on Double Troubles or Bonds of Agony. Depends on what he could prioritize at the time. Vambrace, obviously, for the Enigma matchup. Arcane Lantern. I personally went into that tournament with Widow Veil Respirator and Widowback Abdomen. And I kept pitching into them a little bit too much, and yeah, it saved my life total. But at the end of the day, I never saw a need much more for the one prevention. You just need to kind of keep alive a little bit, prevent as much damage as you effectively can, and then lead into hand disruption or deck disruption. Okay, so here are some of the cards that this deck premieres. I did go into the calling without Count Your Blessings during the Friday events before the big event. I was playing Classic Constructed left and right, and I was like, God, it cannot be this bad. Is new this bad? And then I picked up Count Your Blessings from the vendors. Buying cards from the vendors at an event is expensive. Spoiler alert, when you need something and they know they have it, they're going to charge you more. That's just supply and demand. Funny, it doesn't work in the opposite direction, as you're going to soon learn at the end of this. But come to learn, Count Your Blessings is the truth. Even after the blue bans, people will go, oh man, it can't be that good after the ban. No, it's stupid how different of a make. 30 life is 30 life, okay? It's still, I think that's the optimal playment. It resolves with 30 life. Point being, so I learned, this was like speed running learning, right? But you have to do that. Yeah, I got my ass kicked all over that place. I got fucked up left and right with Classic Constructed New. But every single time, where the fuck is it? See this? See this right here? Let's go ahead and zoom. Fuck it. We're going to go back down to the map. Okay, see this? Zoom in. Okay, these are just for the calling. Too many. There's only like 5, 10, 15 pages or something filled out. Not a lot. Get a fucking notebook and take notes. Okay, I took notes, and then as soon as I said I wrote down the same problem 3 times, I'm like, fucking okay, I gotta go try or Count Your Blessings. I did. They're in the deck. They're in there. They're in there. This is also a new addition. The word deck damage really got to me. The most genius thing I saw him do, okay, was this right here. Persuasive Prognosis was coming in for 1. The Visceri did not block. Okay. So what does Victor do? Okay, according to him, what he did was double just a nick, not choosing the damage mode. I forgot that this said choose one or both. In my head, I always just default to, oh yeah, 6 damage, more damage, big number, good number.
Trash.
What ended up happening was Victor banishes 1, 2, 3 cards. That's 3 cards of deck damage, gaining life off of this, and then stripping a card out of the opponent's hand. What is it? Why would you ever do that? It kept Reaping Blade offline so that Victor could then count your blessings. Not Victor the hero, Victor the hero of new, though. So just leaving off the +5 just to make sure you only tap them. You're just tapping them for deck damage, gaining some life. On top of that, possibly taking a card out of their hand, and then being able to count your blessings because Reaping Blade is offline still, because you didn't do 6 damage to them. So you don't really care about killing them. That's why cards like Double Trouble start to become very interesting. I didn't really like this card at first, but it's okay because they're going to block. They're going to kind of block it, but you have to remember you're usually coming in for +5 on this. If not, even better. I have always run this card in my build. I don't believe it's in Victor's build, but the word, I'm in my deck damage phase. Okay, I'm so sorry to anybody who's going to play me in the next couple weeks while I build a Cilio, and I'm still trying this out. But this card is just so good. I mean, if they overblock anything, okay, they overblock anything, or even just Art of Desire Mind, you can then Allure Intimate Inducement, take a card off their deck anyway, and then if New's ability given to Art of Desire Mind banish the card, you might still get your arsenal. You might still get a life off of it. And you did even more deck damage. It's just crazy. So when I heard the words deck damage, these cards are brand new to my deck. Okay. This, Count Your Blessings. And I wasn't running this card yet. I realized my math, I knew the math was going to be good on this card. I just wasn't running it yet. I just wasn't in the phase of testing the Mystic cards out and seeing their efficacy. But this enables some pretty degenerate shit with Count Your Blessings, right? You count your blessings, swing with a dagger, levels of enlightenment, draw another card, possibly another Count Your Blessing. It's so stupid. It's not even about doing the damage. You almost always just go again and draw a card, or just draw a card, because you're really trying to count your blessings is all you're really trying to do, and set up an arsenal card. So remember, if you're going to play new, I might do a full complete breakdown and turn scenario on this, but get these fast. This is not a market channel. I don't have, like, I'm not saying that like as a permanent thing, as a forward. I might do market stuff in the future, but right now I typically don't do market content. Get these because this is the most played card in the deck. Most of the time when you're just blocking, and you have to block as much damage as you can, you pitch as much as you can, do whatever you need to do, play your Count Your Blessings. On your turn, you typically will just return a Leave No Witnesses. It is a very great Codex of Frailty target. And that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about. Was I got my ass whooped left and right. I took notes. I changed my deck. I started to see a bit more success. And then after all the classic constructed events were over and I was basically just doing sealed and then the one Welcome to Wraith draft, the alpha draft. Then after talking to Victor did I realize, holy shit, I had been building this whole wrong. Okay. So always remember, if you get stuck, and I was stuck, I was getting stuck. I absolutely could not figure out how to make new good. I'm not even a front. I'm not going to tell any lies because anyone from my local meta would just tell me right to my face how stupid I was being about that. Okay. This is the last part of the new package that I changed. Before this, I was running Erase Faces, Weakest Links, a third Warmongers, and I forget what the last option was. But we went to Already Deads. Not so much for the deck damage perspective, but it does do the top card of their deck. It's more against Rune Blades. Every time I swung with this, almost every time, I think one time this didn't work. I either banished Grasp of the Arknight, or their dumb boots, the lightning boots, right? That's all this is for. I don't care about the damage as much. I hope they try to block this so then I can just tip it over for one with like Grain that tips the scale or something, or like a Fang Strike. This is for those fatigue matches, right? You have Warmonger's Diplomacy. It is the card you play when you want them to stop hurting you so bad. There were 3 copies to begin with, but after all the adjustments towards deck damage, I only had room for 2 of them, and I don't value this card as much anymore since Malefic Incantations really does just come out swinging. Siren's Call didn't go in every matchup super well. If you miss with this, it hurts really bad, so I take it out against a lot of the aggro matchups. Not all of the aggro matchups, obviously, but you have to really pick and choose your times with them. There's the hell is the deck that literally had no... Ira. Ira didn't seem to have any blues in that deck. And I took that out against the Ira because I had been seeing that all weekend. These are the most interesting choices to me. There's no E-Strikes in Victor's deck, and I agree with that because looking for scrap you can play... Jesus, that is dark. Dark. Okay, let's see if we can get a good shot of these things because these are super dark. There we go. Over E-Strikes. I like this move because, unlike E-Strike, I can play this as off of a Tunic counter. Block with my whole hand, looking for scrap, bring this in. What these are for is they're kind of like a 1-for-5 go again above rate attack that can be fed in with a blue to get it with that. You're popping ward is the point. You're trying to pop ward with this. And same with this. This was the most interesting card to see. This is fucking 12D brain fucking chess. Okay, it's such a basic goddamn card. How does it never come to mind? Because I didn't have the perspective of deck damage. You get hit a bunch, you count your blessings, and you're always behind. And if Enigma has a ward advantage starting to pile up, it's free go again on a breakpoint. Like, it's just brilliant. So this is largely just the Enigma package because the rest of the time you're really not trying to race anybody. You're just trying to fatigue them. All New really does right now is fatigue, and it appears she does it very well. While you're here, you might as well like the video. Just go ahead and do that. Just do it right now. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on. So that's my kind of like, here's how I grew, here's why I grew, and here's how you can too. Okay? That was kind of long and drawn, but at the same time, I feel like it's important to give players, newer players, the actual step-by-step process as to how I became a better player. I got my ass kicked. I took some notes. I tried some new iterations. If I saw success, I made note of it. And then when all else failed, asked for help. Granted, I asked for help from literally one of the best players in our nation right now, apparently. But but still, ask for help. Here's the thing. Victor's in the Discord for Flesh and Blood. Okay? Victor is in there, sharing wisdom about all of the matchups. And he basically said, I really haven't had any problem just fatiguing every single deck, but he never came up against Aurora. And he did say that it was kind of a rough matchup at the calling. So past that, what do? Pick up some cool stuff, get some ticks, win some prizes, enjoy your weekend, enjoy some really good food. Unfortunately, we were pretty disorganized. I was too. This is not a single party thing, but everybody was kind of in a whirlwind of what to do. And we were all just kind of on different timelines, and I never really got to go out to eat with anybody. I did bring the car, and we had the unlimited in and out pass, so we could not the burger place, but the parking garage place. We went downtown. I picked up a cool new bag. They're called Chrome. It's like a little not messenger bag so much, but it's cool. Got some stuff from Pendleton. I feel so stupid that I was like, oh my God, we're in Oregon. Let's get some Pendleton stuff. There's a Pendleton store. There's a Pendleton store in the mall in my local town. So, whatever. I made myself feel special. Had some weird vegan food. Had some weird Korean food downtown. Burgerville sucks. If Burgerville was anywhere in my town, it would not survive. It could not survive a local chain that we have here. There's no way in hell. Don't let anyone trick you or fool you into thinking Burgerville is fine. It is. So really all this episode was how to enjoy calling, what to do while you're there, some advice about if you're doing poorly in the calling, go play some side events, get some cards, crack some packs, have some fun. Go buy yourself some playmats. I finally got a playmat I've been after for a while, but I didn't want to pay $150, and this is the first one that I saw. I was already doing a pretty huge deal. I was buying some cards for the wife's Bravo deck. I was buying some cards for my deck. I was already buying a bunch of other stuff, and they threw me this deal. Just because you do bad in a calling doesn't mean you're having a bad time. Try to keep your chin up. Go through the steps that I talked about here. Become the better player that you know you can be. Get back up and do it again. That's some Dark Souls shit right there. Thanks for checking out Crash Command Games. Like, subscribe, comment on anything that you thought I was an idiot about in this. Tell me how dumb I was for bitching about new. Please tell me how wrong I was so I can just continue making more data-driven content, as well as, man, hopefully something. I don't know. This one is zeroed.